eventually you end up with issues on everything. So I got my Ovonic X1 charger, charging up some of these Ovonic packs. Everything's kind of working. Having maybe a little bit of an issue with this thing, but we're gonna see if a firmware update maybe fixes that. It's all finished charging. I'm going to reverse this. There was also something else I was hoping people would notice in the last video. I don't know, I mean, granted, maybe because I'm behind the trigger and I'm getting the real deal of feel, or at least I can see for myself that the front end is squatting and not returning. Could be a couple of reasons. We could have binding at the shocks, which is a high possibility. So I'm not going to do any preload. I'm going to leave it the way it is. One run more pack. The way they've got this brace, it's in the way for the strap. Makes it a little bit hard to deal with. Take the screws out of the bottom, screws out of the top. The brace just basically collapses down. Then you can spin around and put it back in. But I wanted to show you the drive shaft. So stuff is definitely getting in there and scratching the crap out of this drive shaft. So there's obviously, you know, grit and debris and stuff that kind of gets in there, man. This RC might be a good candidate for one of those chassis nets that I hate using. So this might be a chassis net RC. Once you stand that up, you're good to go, see? So it's basically in the right position. So now that chassis base is kind of almost more in the, I was gonna say it's more in the center, but I really think it's in the center if it's there. So it's offset a little bit towards the front. So we're just gonna go with that and see how that works. Like I said, I'm just doing it because trying to get this strap in place is a pain in the neck. All right, so here we go. So like I had said before, so this time I'm basically just comfortably looking at that mountain, and it should be in the center of my footage, and it's not. So that means that I need to slightly go up, comfortably looking, and it's basically there in the middle, right? Yeah, kind of, sort of, close enough. Remote on, got a different jump. But yeah, I just was hoping somebody would kind of notice or see what was going on with this truck. So there's a couple of things I'm going to address with this thing. Steering is sticking. Got a little bit of, okay, see how it's leaning? So what's happening is the front suspension is sticking. I'm not sure if the rear is, but the front is. Probably not going to have the wheel speed for that jump. Already. And get something stuck on the steering. Already. Yeah. I don't think this jump is going to be good. And hit it nice and light. Well, maybe it will be. I was thinking the jump without air control might not happen, but not bad. Actually, not bad. Wasn't expecting that jump to be as good as it is. Clean the chassis off. Yeah. Pretty cool jump though, huh? Nice. It's gonna take a while to pack that down. Packed it down with the tractor, but sometimes there's only so much you can do. Yep, and that's when it's garbage. One jump to the next ain't gonna work. Should be able to get it this way. All right, lined up. Hit that jump bad. Oh, right to the tree. That was good. Air control's better than I thought it was going to be. Things meant. Right into a power wheelie. Oh, yep. Nope. Should have aborted, I tried. And I left myself enough room to go in between. Right on the back wheel. Looked like that was fully on that rear right wheel. So what I did is I flattened down the edges so that the ramps wouldn't collapse that way. Still look good. It's not all about the big jump. Go after the little one too. And then we can loop around, come get some big one. Take your pick, 50-50 shot. We'll go for the big one. chassis clean. Go after the little jump. Full rip. How's that for a slalom? Ooh, right to the rake. I gotta move that rake, dude. This needs to be a berm. Give the little jump some love. Set up for the big one. Some little jump love. Oh, that was bad. Gotta watch that edge there. Steering seems like it's all right. Little chassis clean. Bad setup. Getting some tires out of balance here. That's it, low cut. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage out here in the backyard track. That was a run with the Redcat Racing Valkyrie TR. Got to figure out what's going on with this front end. From the factory, my shocks, point blank, do not have enough oil in them. So what's happening is when you've got air in your shock, when that piston comes up, there's nothing left to compress. And then over time, the shock oil becomes less effective because you're aerating the oil in the shock. So, yeah. My mind is definitely distracted by Big Black Dude. Oh, not trying to give up on it, man, but 2/3 of the weight of the rust that I descaled off of that truck. Oh my God, that's a couple pounds. Let's put it on. 63.7 pounds in that bucket right there. 63.7 pounds. That's 2/3 of the weight. A 5-gallon bucket filled with rust flakes. not a good scenario, dude. There's a lot of stuff and we're not done. That was just the back half of the chassis, dude, and some of the bed. I ain't scared, I'm just disappointed. It's tough, man. I don't want to say goodbye to that truck. That truck and I have been through a lot. So, I do have stuff coming. I'm going to assess the situation and we'll see what happens. I got my son actually coming over, because sometimes you need a different kind of a level head. And my kid deals with this stuff all the time. Not necessarily vehicles like my truck, but he's a Ford mechanic and he's going to kind of just look at it just so I can get that second opinion, because I'm at the point right now where I can't tell if it's my... I can't tell, dude. I just can't tell. I can't tell if I'm too attached to the truck or if I'm just like thinking to myself I can fix anything, because you kind of can, but some of the rust I just came across, you're not fixing. It's not frame, it's cab. It's not cab corners, it's stuff that shouldn't be rotted. Got a lot of thinking to do, man. So anyways, I'm out here ripping in the backyard track, trying to get my mind off of things. What about you? Always a give and take. Tires are good. The rims are fine too, but because of their deep cavity design, to get kind of this look, which is still fine, with the clay material that I've got out there and some of the wetness. Reason why the wheels were acting weird is because the dirt was collecting in the little pockets. So once you take care of that, that's fine. This is a little concerning because I know what that is. Something in here is bleeding in order for it to collect. So I'm gonna have to take this apart and see what's going on here. I do like this idea. This is an adjustable little battery thing. Stuff is definitely getting jam-packed under here, so probably be a very good idea to run a piece of foam underneath as a pad, especially if you're gonna especially if you're gonna use a hard pack. Steering seems fine. Front end, again, like I said, can't tell where the binding is happening or if it's the fact that the springs have collapsed. I want to say no. I want to take this stuff apart and see what's binding first before I go ahead and just slay this thing. I have a feeling that this is collecting debris and stopping the shocks from travel. That's the same issue that I had with my WAV. And this is obviously being the same thing, is probably experiencing the same issue. So it might be the possibility of putting a hole in there. Who knows? We'll explore it, I think. But so far, overall, rear suspension is fine. See? Rear suspension is not having any issues. It's just the front. The front almost just doesn't want to retract all the way down. I really hope it's not premature collapse springs, but we're just going to check it out at a later date. Again, you always see where the oils are collecting. So be good to get in here with a little air compressor and air compress all this garbage out of here. So a little boulder stuck in there. That's going to end up killing the drive shaft. Actually, no, it's wedged, so it's not going to get the drive shaft. But chassis brace flopped. So far, the thing's running fine. ESC is a little warm. The fan on this ESC is a little anemic for what it is. The fan on the WAV is about the same size as this. This is a tiny little, 20mm fan? Thing is tiny compared to that one. I kind of wish this style or this size fan was on this ESC. Probably work out way better, but we ain't doing no adaption or anything like that. Who knows? Maybe I'll make like a thing. Maybe I can make like a riser that bolts onto this. Yeah, I don't know. How would I do that? It'd have to be like a two-piece riser, I think. Because that fan would have to come off, which is separating the case, popping those screws, popping this case apart. Yeah. Oh man. I do like the truck overall though. Still pretty good.